Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started to this video, I just wanted to share with people who first time joining on to my channel. My name is, of course, Joshua Tree, and I offer one-on-one inner child coaching, and I also am a breathwork facilitator. So if you are interested in working with me on a one-on-one basis to help dive deep into your inner child work in terms of childhood trauma, in terms of self-worth, in terms of addressing some of the characteristics and factors of why you may be attracting toxic partners, or even if this you want to like get deeper into the emptiness that you feel at times throughout your life, or you just maybe feel just in general just not a happy person. I am now taking clients for my one-on-one coaching. And also, I do offer virtual breathwork events for people who want to dive a little bit deeper into their, I would say, everything, because breathwork actually addresses all areas of our being, but more specifically for your emotional state is a great practice to help support and release a lot of emotions in a short amount of time. So I just want to come on here real quick and tell you guys about that. And so let's get into this video. I wanted to talk a little bit more about discipline. I'm seeing across the board that a lot of people really don't know what discipline is, and where we're at in our journeys right now in terms of collectively, discipline is going to be the practice that is going to get you out of your darkness. It is going to be the practice that's going to put you in a state that you need to be in for your thriving and for your betterment. So we are in 2025, right? If you add up 2025, 2 to 0 to 2 and a 5 equals 9. What does 9 represent in numerology? 9 represents completion. 9 represents the ending of cycles, the ending of chapters. 9 represents you going back and completing old projects and finally letting go of things that no longer is serving you or no longer is to your highest good or alignment. We are about to shift into a 1. In 2026, when you add up 2026, it equals a 1. This is very powerful. What's about to that's about to pop off. That's the shift that's happening. We have to understand that we are in our last phase until we shift into this 1 energy. So I like to look at this part of our journey like the great push, or like if you was having a baby, this would be the last trimester. I highly encourage people to take their journey more serious in terms of discipline and what you're trying to cultivate for yourself, because you can be a part of the shift rather than going against the shift. It's kind of like when you look at in the Bible, when they talk about the second testament or the second coming. We are shifting out of the old paradigm or out the old reality into a new reality. All right. And so it's about really just taking yourself a little bit more serious about what you say you want to either cultivate in life or just be. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about discipline. All right. First, I want to talk about what discipline is not. All right. Discipline is not about punishment. All right. Discipline is not about strict rules. Okay. These were all additives, I would say, that has been given to discipline, and that's what most people think discipline is. Discipline is not waking up 5 in the morning because an entrepreneur told you that's how you develop discipline. Those are things that can help out your practice within discipline, but it's not discipline. Okay. Discipline is not about emotions. All right. You notice that when people talk about discipline, they never mention anything about motivation or inspiration. Discipline is completely void of emotions. There's no emotions when it comes down to discipline. This is why some people struggle with cultivating discipline, because they're probably searching for a certain emotion that can keep them disciplined. There's no emotions. There's no discipline that has no emotions at all. Okay, so if you just do some basic research and you look up the root word of discipline, the root word of discipline is derived from the Latin word disciplina. And what disciplina means is basically a teaching, a form of training, a form of knowledge and education. So discipline means to educate, it means to teach. And what you're teaching is certain knowledge to a pupil or a disciple. If you look at the word discipline, if you break down some of the letters, it actually spells out disciple. And a disciple is a student or a follower, right, that is trying to learn how to master something. So let me share a quick example of that. Okay. So if anyone has watched Naruto, everyone knows that Naruto's main purpose is to become a Hokage. Okay. And so Naruto would consider to be a student. He would consider to be a disciple. All right. So who is his teachers? Right. His teacher is Jiraiya and Kakashi. Okay. So Naruto knows that he has to adopt a certain behavior, a certain mindset, and a certain practice to cultivate, right? To become the Hokage. So what does Naruto constantly do? He's constantly training. He's constantly trying to evolve. He's constantly trying to become better. He's constantly growing. And that constant training is a practice. Okay. So discipline is a practice. All right. Discipline is a system of learning, training, and teachings under guidance, under someone who is teaching you how to become or how to master something. So Naruto became a student of Hokage, how to become a Hokage. You could become a student of God. You become a student of entrepreneurship. You could become a student of health and wellness. All right. You can pick an area where you're trying to understand and adopt a certain behavior, and you start to go to work. You start to train yourself to adopt this certain behavior. And this is what we call discipline. So instead of looking at discipline as a form of punishment or setting certain strict rules that you have to abide by, switch out the word discipline for training. Switch out the word discipline for some type of practice. All right. So the question would be is what is your daily practice that you have to cultivate something different or to learn something different or to master something? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a real life example. All right. So say that you are becoming a student of entrepreneurship. All right. As a student, you need a teacher. So let's say, for instance, you go on YouTube, right? And you say, I want my teacher to be Myron Golden. All right. That's one of my teachers. I look up to him. I listen to him. I practice a lot of things that he shares. And listen to what I'm saying. I practice a lot of the things that he shares because he is a very successful entrepreneur. All right. So along the journey of me becoming a successful entrepreneur, I'm going to have moments where I don't want to put forth the effort to continue to build the behavior. So this is where most people might fall because now they're looking for inspiration or now they're looking for motivation to continue the journey. But I assure you that you will not, please do not rely on motivation or inspiration to get you to your journey, to get you to your level of mastery that you're trying to cultivate. Inspiration and motivation are fleeing emotions, meaning they come and they go, they come and they go. Now, if you need a boost, right, definitely watch a motivational video on YouTube or talk to someone that you are inspired by. But don't rely on that to get you through your journey because it comes and it goes. Secondly, when you are working on cultivating or mastering something, you'll notice throughout the journey, a lot of what you're mastering are all of your inner urges, all of your impulses that is pulling you away from the goal, pulling you away from becoming a master at something. So I'll use Naruto again. Okay. Think about it like this. A lot of us understand the fillers, right? That is associated with Naruto. These fillers that most people don't watch is taking you on other type of side missions and other type of paths that Naruto has walking down. But it is not the core. It is not the root. It is not going directly to what he's trying to cultivate. So these are certain urges. Fillers are like certain urges that we also participate in that can help out to a degree, but it can also limit you or take you off the path. So think about it like that. Like, think about it like you have urges that are inside of you, and certain urges are like people, and people have desires to do something in the moment. So, say for instance, you know you need to read a book. There's an urge that comes out and says, "Okay, but I want to watch some Naruto. I want to watch some anime, right?" Or say for instance, you need to do some exercises. There's an urge that comes out and says, "Well, can we like skip the gym for the day because I'm not feeling it?" Right? You'll notice there's urges that's constantly trying to pull you away from what you're trying to master. Bring your awareness to these urges and you stand on business on what it is that you're trying to master. Right? There's nothing outside of us. That's why it's called self mastery. You are mastering yourself when you develop a practice, aka a discipline, to cultivate what you're trying to cultivate. And lastly, set yourself up for success. All right. And what I mean by that is if you're trying to get up 5 in the morning based on whatever it is that you're trying to master, go to sleep early the day before. right? If you're trying to work on your, let's say, diet and trying to eat more healthier, take out all of the snacks and desserts and the sweets in your house so you won't have an urge to eat, right? If you are trying to get closer to God, remove all things outside of yourself, whether that's social media, people, places, and things that is distracting you from developing a closer relationship with God. So sometimes it's the internal, and of course, obviously, it's the external. So give yourself an evaluation and see what is in your life that is distracting you, right? Taking you off track to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever it is that you're trying to master. Make it easy for yourself. Set yourself up for success. A lot of times we be like, oh, it's hard and I'm trying to do this. And, it's hard for me to get off of social media. It's like, delete the app. Now, if you have a business where you can't delete the app because that's where you get a lot of your stuff from, right? Then minimize. Like, come on now, like let's just make this happen. Let's stop giving ourselves these illusions, right? All these excuses for why things are not coming into fruition like we would like them to. You have to develop an awareness to what is creating your self-destruction. All right. And so on that note, I'm gonna let y'all go. For people who already know how I like to move, if you felt like this video resonated, please drop a comment below. I would love to know what are you're trying to cultivate, right, for these last four or this last fourth quarter, right? In TikTok world, the trend is the great lock-in, right? What are you locking into the year 2026? I would love to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, peace.